okay, we ran out of years, the decade's over, everyone's making like weird listings, and I've kind of wanted to make a games of the decade sort of thing for a while, or like ranking games or whatever. There's a lot of stuff I haven't played, and this list of games was made by someone else. I didn't make it, I just stole this basically. So yeah, it's missing some stuff. I might add those like later during the edit. First of all, we have Plague Tale. I thought that this game's okay. I'll give it a C. I played it with some friends, which was definitely not the optimal environment, but yeah, that's it. A Way Out, I want to say also okay. The ending's pretty fun, but besides that, I don't think it's that special. I didn't like Abzu as much as Journey, not even close. Wow, we're just kicking off with the seat here right away, and more seat here. Wow. Oof, oof, oof. Is it D or E? I think that's the main question. I think we might have our first E tier game right here. Is that Dark Descent or from Machine for Pigs? What the fuck? Which one is that? I have no idea. If it's a Dark Descent, I'll give it a B. Not the biggest fan of the walkie, puzzly type of horror game. It does have some good spooks though, so I gotta give it credit. And it basically made a subgenre, so yes. Apex is okay. Apex is okay. It's mid tier. Army of Two, never. Why the fuck are these games here? I didn't honestly remember Brotherhood was this decade. I thought that it was last decade, but Brotherhood is good. Brotherhood is good. I'm only like 2 minutes in, and Apex is already making me feel conflicted. But who knows? Maybe I'll add tiers. That could make it easier. Assassin's Creed 4. Ooh, I might say that's great. It's the best pirate game ever. As an Assassin's Creed game, it's honestly like C tier, but it's such a good pirate game. Revelations is okay. I think I like it a bit more than 3, honestly. Arkham City. This is a game that I really, really like. I want to say I love. It's somewhat dated in a few ways, but I do really, really like it. Arkham Knight. It's good, but very flawed. It's better than Origins. Origins is just kind of pointless as a game. Like, Origins isn't that terrible in terms of how it's made. Actually, wait, it did have a lot of bugs. Okay, never mind. Arkham Knight has super high highs. Like, the best moments of the game are easily up here. But there's so much other stuff that just makes the game flawed, so I'll give it a B. Is that Enemy Within? Ooh, I actually played that recently. Enemy Within is really good. I really, really liked it. I'm gonna put it right next to Arkham Knight. Battlefield 1, I have played the multiplayer. Not much else. Eh. Not the biggest fan. Battlefield 3. Eh. They're not bad. I'm not just into them at this point. Beyond Two Souls, haven't played it. Bioshock 2, just briefly played it, but not gonna put it in the list. Bioshock Infinite, I actually like it. I know a lot of people give it shit, but it's been a long time since I played it, and it's a damn shame they nerfed Elizabeth's tits, but maybe that's why it's so low on the list, huh? Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is, I'd say it's great. It's fun. It's really fun. It's above that. It has some flaws, and it is pretty dated in terms of gunplay and stuff like that. And you know, the enemies are bullet spongy, many of the missions are kind of fetch questy, but it's just a fun co-op game. And I've played it a lot. Pre-sequel is kind of eh. It's kind of like the Arkham Origins of the series. What is this? Bound? Brothers, also okay. Total Biscuit's like favorite game, may he rest in peace, but I'm not that into it. I think Plague's Tale is kind of like the same game, but better. Well, here we have our little Call of Duty stack that I'm probably all gonna put on the same tier because they kind of just blend together in my head for the most part. I want to give Black Ops a B because I played this game a bunch with my friends and the zombies was really fun. And overall, it was just a pretty fun Call of Duty game. Someone's gonna get really mad at me for putting Battlefield 1 below this, but Bad Company would be pretty high up. After Bad Company 2, I just haven't really been into Battlefield. Haven't played that one. Celeste is a good platforming game, but I'm honestly not super big on platformers these days. However, if you're a fan of 2D platformers, then I can easily see this being up here-ish. I've really wanted to play this game actually, but I just haven't gotten the chance yet. Crysis 2, very disappointing after the first. I like the first a whole lot more. Also, this list is gonna be changing a lot, like after each edit. Crysis 3 is much better than 2 in my opinion. I like the campaign a bunch. Cuphead. Ooh, Cuphead. I don't love the game like some people do. It's challenging. Not like uber mega hard. Just learning patterns, but it's a damn well made game. I played this with my friends like locally and it fucking sucked. Like none of us liked it. But I've seen the other mode, the like multiplayer mode online, and that looks way more interesting. So I'm gonna give this game a break for now. Like, the entire Darksiders franchise is, in my opinion, I'd say okay. I'm just gonna put every single one of you here. I like 2 the most, 3 after that, and I barely remember 1, so it gets the lowest like mark out of these. Dead Cells is really good. Dead Cells is here. It's one of my favorite indies. That's a low C. That game's really disappointing. Dead Space 2. That's a good one. That's an S tier game right there. You get to go like somewhere around here. After such a high to a massive disappointment. Put Destiny 2 here-ish. Story is just so boring. Didn't play enough Destiny 1. Detroit's okay. It's really fun if you try to ruin the story. That's the biggest takeaway I can give it. It's probably David Cage's best written game, but I wouldn't say it's his funniest game. That goes to Heavy Rain, which I don't think is here. Or maybe it is, maybe I'm wrong. Ah, Deus Ex. Tastes like fine wine, this one. Mankind Divided wasn't even here, by the way. That's kind of a slap in the face. The game isn't even that bad. I put Mankind Divided like here. Dishonored! Okay, both Dishonored games are, in my opinion, great. I really enjoy both of these. About equally. One gets a bit more points for being the first one. DMC. It's not that bad, honestly. Not a bad game. It's okay. I wish I played the console version that had 60 FPS and all the cool bonuses. It's not the worst Devil May Cry game, that's for sure. There's a pretty cursed game that takes that option easily. Ooh, Doom. Doom is great. I wouldn't put Doom in S tier. I recently replayed it and it does have some issues. I haven't played enough. I actually played a bit of this and it's not very good. Dying Light. Dying Light is great, honestly. This is an underrated game that I really like. You know, Dying Light, you deserve a break. I'll put you there. You're not better than Dishonored. Let's be real here. You're not better than Dishonored. Ooh, Skyrim. Honestly, even after all these years, I have a lot of nostalgia for this bad boy. It's one of my most played games ever. Is it objectively this good? Probably not. Is it a game that I really enjoy and consider among my favorite open world games ever made? Yes. Also, the mods. That might have cost me a lot of credibility points. Evil Within 2 is... is it... It's really good. I really like it. Evil Within 1, that's good. Evolve. I played a bit of this. I actually liked Evolve. I thought that Evolve was good. Nobody really played it. That was the problem. But now that I think about it, that's actually a pretty big problem in a game that's all about multiplayer, so it's practically obsolete these days. Fable, didn't play. Fallout 76, well, I haven't played a second of Fallout 76. But for this one, I want to give the special honor of getting the dog shit remark, because holy fuck, that game is just awful. It's so... everything about it just screams, I want to kill the Fallout franchise, and for that, you get the biggest sin. I don't hate Fallout 4 though, even though a lot of people do. I put quite a bit of time into it, and I think it's a good game. The problem is this one right here, but we'll talk about that a bit later. The entire Far Cry franchise. Well, I haven't played 5. 3 is a great game. I really think 3 is great. Liked it a lot when it first came out. Haven't played it in a long time, but yeah, I'm just put it there. That's based on memories though, keep that in mind. 4, not as good, but still good. It's not a bad game. New Dawn though, this one's the interesting one because I played a good bit of this, but it was just so fucking broken. The game kept crashing. It did crashes that I've never seen my PC do before, a completely unique problems that I've never encountered. In terms of the game itself, it's not this bad, but my experience with it was definitely earning of the D rank. Firewatch it's a good game. That kinda, the second half kinda lets it down. Specifically the ending part. For Honor was an interesting one because it's like a multiplayer game. It's like a half fighting game, half team game sort of thing. And I just really liked it. It's great, and it's a shame that it had such a shitty launch. So I'm gonna dock it a few points for that. Honestly, Fortnite isn't that bad. If you put it to D tier or E tier, you're being stupid. Am I a big fan of it? Nah. It's like on the same level for me as something like Apex. Fortnite has gotten better updates, so I'll just put it. I'll put these right next to each other. Well, this is an easy one. Nobody played God of War Ascension. What one? Which one is this? Ghost of Sparta? I can barely see the text. Didn't play that one. I did play 3 though, and 3 is good. Not as good as 2 though. Hey, I really like GTA 5. What can I say? It's a damn well made open world game. Unfortunately, I've never played it on PC, so this boy doesn't get any points for mods. Halo 5, didn't play that. Halo Reach, actually the first Halo game I've ever beaten, and just beat it recently on PC. And I'd say it's actually good. When it first came out, it must have like seemed better, but it has some really well made levels. Ooh, Hellblade, that's definitely up here. This boy's going like way up here. Maybe even on top of these. Put Hollow Knight there. That game is fantastic. Some of the DLC content ended up being a bit of a letdown, but it was free, so I can't really complain. The best Souls-like that's not actually a Souls-like at all, but you basically fight Gwyn at the end, so. The thing I love the most about Horizon is definitely the world. The story within it wasn't that special in my opinion, but it was a very, very good open world game that just had the bad luck of being released around Zelda. Oh, Miami's good. Infamous 2 it's good. I honestly found a good chunk of the story to be pretty unmemorable because I can barely remember it right now, but the endings are really strong. They are fantastic. Second Son doesn't really resonate the same way though. It's kind of like the Arkham Origins situation. Inside I didn't like as much as Limbo. I think it's good, but would I say it's great? I don't think so. It just felt so much like the same, and the ending is weird, but it didn't really hit that hard. I played Journey once, way back in, like when it came out. It was on, it had like a demo, and I didn't like it. But then I got the full game on PS Plus some years back, and I fucking love this game. I beat it like on one go, and it was really good. Like, every player will have a different experience with this, but if you went through the whole game with one person, that becomes one of those special moments that almost no other game can like deliver or match. Just Cause 2, my boy. It's not objectively an S tier game, but it's one of among my favorite like open world sandboxes, just because how much stupid shit you can do in this game. Shame that 3 isn't quite as good. It's still good, it's still good fun, but I don't know. It just felt kind of played out by that point. Barely ever touched Killzone, didn't play that. Oh, this is the easy round. LA Noire. Oh, Knack is obviously S tier. LA Noire. I honestly didn't like this game. So you can go next to Knack. Here, like, even your text font kind of matches. You have another member of the S tier gang, I think. I recently played this on grounded difficulty just to prepare for Last of Us 2. And in some ways I liked it more than previously, and in some ways less. Story is really, really good. And some of the moments in the game are absolutely fantastic. But the way the game cheats on some of the encounters is infuriating. Breath of the Wild is a great game. Didn't like it as much as some people did. But I do like Breath of the Wild a bunch. This is one of those games that I just hate, even though I never played it. Also, Limbo is actually here, so I can fulfill my promise of putting Limbo up here. There you go. I mean, I wanna put it here, but you get a low C. That's a 5 out of 10 game right there. Like a definitive 5 out of 10. I'm liking Dead Island less the longer I see it here. Mad Max, okay. It's just okay. Nothing special in my opinion. It has some cool moments, that's about it. Well, I played it with my friends. And, well, if we're being realistic, Mario Kart is great. Like, come on, it's basically objectively the best kart racing game out on the market. It's a super fun game to play with friends. Ooh, the Mass Effects. ME2, the big one. This one is a classic. I'm kinda on the fence if it should be A or S tier. It's around that region though. Mass Effect 3 though, much less of a classic. It's not like super bad, but it's so flawed compared to the other ones. And well, you know, do I even have to say anything about the ending? Max Payne is a good video game, but not as good as 1 and 2. Never played that. Metal Gear Rising, that soundtrack alone puts you up here-ish. This is mechanically the best stealth action game ever made, but the story is complete garbage, basically. If it was just for the gameplay, there's an argument why it would be here. Metro Last Light. I like Metro quite a lot. So you get a spot with the big boys up here. Shadow of Mordor. I liked this game a lot when I played it. It was a very fun game. I don't think I've ever been as uninterested in the story of an open world game as I was with this one. It came out so late. At that point the Arkham combat had been done to death. The story is so boring. Characters are so boring. This is one of those things that's gonna keep going down the longer I look at it. Monster Hunter World is good. I didn't like it as much as most people, but I think it's a good game. Mortal Kombat 9 though. This is a good fighting game. It used to be among my favorite fighting games actually. But I haven't been that big of a fighting game guy until one game that I'm gonna probably have to edit in the list later. Oh, Nier Automata. This is like right on the edge here. Because I still listen to the soundtrack to this day, I'll give you the yes. The gameplay for a Platinum game kind of gets stale because the game is pretty long, but the high moments of the game are incredibly strong. I like Neo a lot. It's probably the best Souls-like that wasn't made by FromSoft. But my second playthrough really dropped the game down. I've only played No Man's Sky briefly and on few occasions, but it's really not my type of game. Like, I just don't find it fun in any way. But I have to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's been updated and people say it's good now, so I'm not gonna put it to shit tier, even though for me it probably is. Outer Worlds! Started off loving this game, ended up kinda not liking it as much as I had hoped, compared to, you know, that one game. It is better than Fallout 4, but not a lot, honestly. I think it's slightly better. In different areas, as a refined game, it's easily better, but in terms of exploration and the world itself, I don't find it nearly as interesting to go through. Outlast 2, I haven't beaten it, but I've played it enough. I'd say I've played it enough. I'm not a huge fan of how it follows up the first. Just running around in the woods and getting lost, and it's just kinda eh. Compared to the first one, which I think is actually a really great horror game, I think Outlast is a better game compared to Amnesia. Is it as scary? I'm not sure. About the same. Do I like it more? Yes. Overwatch is an interesting one because at its peak it was definitely an S tier game. But nowadays, just kinda, I don't even wanna touch the game. But I can't say I haven't had a lot of fun with it. It's among my most played games ever. Like, everyone played this game, and the porn of it is like really good. Prey's a good game that I had hoped would be something beyond that. Like this one was like a mix of survival horror and immersive sim. I was like, god damn, this is gonna be amazing. But then it was just kind of like, it's good. It's a well-made game that just gets kind of boring at the end. As a fan of the Ratchet & Clank series, like I need to put a lot of weight to that statement. I played these games a fuck ton when I was a kid. Really good games, all of them. But this is a worse version of Ratchet & Clank 1. The only thing it improves is the gameplay, but the story is so much worse. Ooh, both Red Dead. So I'm gonna put Red Dead 1 first. These go kind of side by side for me, actually. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 as a game overall is slightly better than 1. Like, I wish the game was shorter. Like 1 was 50 or 60 missions, I think. 2 is like 120 or something. Like, the finale is incredible, but the stuff you have to do to get there just really drags it down for me. Credit where credit's due, the actual open world itself in this game, in terms of how it's crafted, is probably the best in any open world game. But they're just focus on going really hard on all the realism. It's just something that I didn't really enjoy all that much. Now, maybe you like picking up 17 different cans of beans, but that wasn't my jam exactly. Resident Evil 2. This game kicked so much ass. I love this game. You're an easy S tier game for me. As a remake, Resident Evil 1 remake I think is better because that one just improves over Resident Evil 1 in every single way. This one doesn't actually improve on every category, but the things it does improve are so well done. Better than I'd say in any other horror game, so 7 was great, but I like this one more. Rise of Tomb Raider it's good. It's good. Can't say it isn't. I like both of the Tomb Raider games about as much. Rocket League is a good sports game. I mean, I never really played it that much, but it's fun for what it is. Saints Row 4. Probably my least favorite Saints Row out of the ones I've played, and this game was insanely broken. I like 3 more. 2 is still my favorite, which is kind of amusing to me. That's probably not the most common opinion. Sekiro! Shadows Die Twice. Honestly, like a lot of people hate Dark Souls 2. I don't hate it. It's just not as good as the other ones, but I really don't hate it. It's a great game for me, especially in co-op. It's a really flawed, great game. Sekiro, though, I like it about as much as Resident Evil 2. It has some insanely good bosses, and what I'm thinking is, would I put it actually up a bit? I don't know, just... problem with Sekiro is that it's, I don't think, as memorable as a game as some of the other stuff From has made, and the fact that exploration is not as fun kind of drops it a little bit. Soma is great. I've said it before, I can say it again. Soma is great. I love the story of Soma. The problem is that it wants to be a horror game too, and that half of the game is not as good. Having these 3 side by side is pretty amusing, so I'm gonna keep them like that. Why is Sonic here? Why is Sonic here? Spec Ops: The Line, really great. Really, really great. Sort of has the same problem as Soma, the gameplay is not that enjoyable, but can't say the game isn't very, very good. Spidey Man, didn't play those, but I did play this Spidey Man, and this Spidey Man was a very good one. The ending is amazing, and this game probably has the best version of the character ever. It's better than Red Dead in my opinion. That's a good question actually. I'd say the red covers of each of these games really match quite well. Stanley Parable. Stanley Parable is very good. Would I put it here even? Maybe I would, because I honestly really liked this game when I first played it. You know what? I think I would. I think I actually would. Battlefront 2. I mean, I didn't play either of these a lot. While making the list itself, it seems that I completely forgot that the first game didn't even have a campaign, and that's definitely a big minus for it because I used to really dig the Battlefront campaigns, so this game is basically obsolete because of the second one. Jedi Fallen Order. Beat this game yesterday, and it is a good game. But I'm not sure if it's a great game, honestly. It's like right on the edge. It's kind of in the same area as some of these boys up here. Didn't play that, didn't play that. But I did play Odyssey, and this one's gonna get me some hate if anyone actually watches this video. I don't like Odyssey as much as a lot of people do. I think it's a good game, but I don't think it's a great game. Super Meat Boy. As far as 2D platformers go, this is definitely among the best. Because it's such a pure game. I don't think Smash is great, but Smash is good. It's the closest thing to Bayonetta 3 I have right now, so it gets a point for that. Finally, another C-tier game. It's been a while since we had one of these bad boys. The Surge, easily better than Lords of the Fallen. Tales from Borderlands is my favorite Telltale game. This game is really fun. Just a whole lot of fun. Terraria, I've played quite a bit. It's okay. It's okay. You can go like... I can't say it's bad. I just don't really care. It's one of those games that I just don't care. I didn't play Titanfall 1, but Titanfall 2. This might be a shocker for some people, but I love this game. The single player is fantastic, and it's one of the most fun multiplayer shooters I've played in a long time. I actually liked it more than Doom. Another wild thing is that Superhot is not on this list, and that is its massive sin. Rainbow Six Siege. A game that I personally don't really care about, but it's okay. I can see the value of this game. Transistor though. Fallout to Bastion that I don't like quite as much as Bastion, but I do still like it. The soundtrack is better than the rest of the game, and that's kind of a problem. Uncharted 3. This is an interesting one because Uncharted 2 just barely misses this, but I think that would be like, I'd probably put it more on the S tier side instead of this. Uncharted 3 is just 2 again. Here's the better one, Uncharted 4. I'm not sure if I would put it on 2S. I don't think it's as good as The Last of Us. I'd have to replay this. Future Me ended up doing just that, and it's a great story with some fantastic character writing, and it just kind of falls short at the end because the game ends a little too cleanly, but it's also hurt a little bit by pacing issues and it goes on for a little too long, so it isn't as fun to replay as Uncharted 2. I didn't like Lost Legacy as much because the story is just kind of nothing, but Lost Legacy is, in terms of gameplay, the best Uncharted game. Honestly, I think Until Dawn is better than anything David Cage has made. Didn't play Goose Game, Walking Dead. Walking Dead gives you big emotions, that's the main selling point. Big sad, and big mood are the main selling points. And it is, I'd say, the second best thing Telltale has made. What Remains of Edith Finch is maybe the best walking simulator out there. Discounting Journey. Oh, where's Witcher 1? Oh yeah, wrong decade. Witcher 2. Which game? Which game? I think Witcher 2 goes like here-ish. This game hasn't aged well, but when it came out, it was definitely here. The Witness, I don't like this game. I'll say it straight up. I don't like this game. Wolf Among Us is good, but I'd say this dropped it out of Telltale's like top 3. Wolfenstein, I'm gonna put both Wolfensteins about the same. I really like the story. Like the story, I think, is actually better than the gameplay on of these games. Both of these games have these weird sections that just feel like they were designed to be annoying. Hey, turns out I deceived you, I added a new tier. It's SS. So I'm gonna put stuff that I consider to be better than like these. Like these are superb games, but these are my like all-time favorites. These are the big boys, the huge lads. Alright, the last game before we move on to the next part is God of War. And I think God of War, it's really damn good. I think it's better than The Last of Us. My repeat playthrough hurt it a little, and it does have some clear flaws, but it's a damn good game. I'd say out of these ones, Bayonetta 2, my former favorite action game of all time. And just for context, Bayonetta 1 would be like here. My favorite indie game of all time. Undertale. Like, the soundtrack is amazing. I love this game. Just I have not many words for it. I've never made a video about it, but I love Undertale. We have My Boy that I've talked quite a lot about, but there's a lot of bias with this one. But come on, Fallout New Vegas, baby. Portal 2 and is like here. I really dig this game. When I first played it, it was probably my favorite game of the year, 2011, but I only played Dark Souls after it, so that list sure changed now, didn't it? But yeah, Portal 2 is, I think, Valve's best game. What next? I'd say next spot goes to Dark Souls 3. It's not quite as creative as 1. It has the best boss fights in any game From has made. I think it's the best boss lineup they've ever done. Gale might be my favorite boss in any game. So, like, based on almost those things alone, I really dig this game, and I've put so many hours into it. Next up, something that I want to replay now that I've been watching the show, The Witcher 3. Everyone's favorite underrated indie game, Reddit's favorite game. It's about even with this lad right here. I think these are pretty much tied. The big threes, I guess. But yeah, just a fantastic game overall. And like, if it was just a base game, it would be a few spots lower, honestly, but the DLCs are maybe the best in any game. Next spot actually goes to my boy Devil May Cry 5. I love this game, just pure love. It was the most fun I've had with a game since, I don't even know, the most fun single player experience in years. I S-ranked everything, got all the achievements and all that jazz. And if only Virgil was in the game. And the last member of the Double S Club, my boy Dark Souls. The game that changed basically all games for me in terms of like what type of games I play. And I have nothing but just love for this, even though Lost Izalith is a complete piece of garbage and it's a dog shit zone. But luckily we have mods that fix that. So Dark Souls with mods definitely earns the spot here. But wait, why did I say the last one? Because I've cheated you again. I've added a tier in the wrong place. There we go. We have the Triple S God tier super game up here, which is, I wonder what could it possibly be? Act shocked when I place Bloodborne in the highest slot, because I've said 10 billion times that it's my favorite game. Okay, after some final edits to the full thing, I think I'm gonna leave it off with this. I changed quite a bit, like a lot of the orders are completely different, and especially now that like I got a bit more time to think about these, instead of just doing it basically on the go. So yeah, I think this is pretty much it. Editing me can add in some good games that we're missing from here-ish right now. So there you go. I don't know what that mad bastard added in, but they should be good. Nevertheless, I might as well just stop rambling now, and this video has gone on too long already. So that's it. That's my list. Get mad at it if you wish, but it's still my list. So yeah.